Hi everyone, this is Catherine of Catherine's Low Income Prepping and Survival. Hi, today this is gonna be number 112, and we're gonna talk about uh, Trump, his running mates, Biden. This is gonna be a good one because I've figured out what Biden's plans are. I really have. And Biden and Harris conspiracy, actually. So here we go. And of course, his Biden's son. Okay. I personally think that Trump, he's got Rubio and he's got three or four other people picked out. I think he'll probably go with Rubio after I thought about it a little bit. Um, if he doesn't go with the black man from North Carolina. Scott, I think is his name. I don't really pay too much attention to him, but I think that's a possibility. All right. So please like and subscribe. And there's Tammy. Say hi to Tammy.
Hi.
Don't move your hand around so much.
No.
Otherwise, you blur out. All right. So she just came up here with Bucky. And the cat's always up here. So she's hiding in the other room. Ginger. All right. So let's go on with, with what I think is going to be going on, what the conspiracy is. And I think there's two conspiracies actually. One is about Biden's son, and one is about the 2024 election. This is what Biden's going to do. He's going to get himself, if he does get elected. I'm hoping he doesn't, and I'm hoping that Trump gets in there. I'm going to vote for Trump, as you can tell from my earlier videos. I don't agree with Trump about everything, but I agree with a lot of his stuff, and I think he would be the best of the two choices, and I think he'd be the best for our country. We can't take 4 more years of Biden-Harris, but we won't have to, because I got to figure it out. Biden is going to get reelected if he can, with Harris as the vice president. Excuse me. And what's going to happen is he's going to turn around and step down, which is going to make Harris the first woman president of the United States of America. And I can see it coming. They're just trying to push him over the edge of like playing football. They're trying to get that ball across the line to start over again, to get instead of 10 yards again with down one. He's trying to get another 4 years. So, Harris, do you want Harris to be president? We did have a Harrison as a president. But anyhow, that was a long time ago. So the whole question I got to ask you is, do you really want President Harris? All right, that's my opinion, and that's what I got figured out. It's a big conspiracy. There you go. I got my own conspiracy. I just thought about it. Oh, and then the second conspiracy, excuse me, I got a little bit itchy going on, is Biden's son. The reason he's being pushed through the court right now is so that Biden can show that he will charge his son, just like he charged Trump with things. And of course, his son's a druggie. You can look at him and see he's a druggie. I hate to say that, but it's true. It doesn't reflect upon Biden. I don't think Biden's a druggie. I think he likes ice cream, from what I hear. But hey, I like donuts. So there you go. And pizza. There you go. Anyhow, it's pretty bad when they got to play politics this way. And that's what it all boils down to. This is all politics. It's all circuses and shows. If we get Trump in, he's going to, I just had something pop up. Let's see if I can get that off of there. There we go. If we get Trump in, I think it'll be a better 4 years, but the person after Trump's going to blame Trump. Man, really, it was Biden that drove us into the ground. He screwed up our energy. He screwed up our freedoms. Biden really hasn't done much good for the country in 4 years. He's done a few things, but he hasn't done much good. And yes, the Republicans are not batting 1,000 either. I personally feel that a person should be allowed to do with what they want with their body. And if women want to have an abortion, they should be able to have it. It should be a limited amount of time, though, unless it's a life and death situation or a rape or molestation of, a child. Children should not be forced to go through that. All right, as some have been in the past. So I guess, that's what's going to happen to Biden's son. And that's the only reason I can think of that they're doing all this right now, is to show that they're being as fair with Biden as they're being with Trump. And we all know the Trump thing is a witch hunt. And I, in my personal opinion, don't know which one really won the election. It seemed to me that there was an awful lot of people voting for Trump, and all of a sudden Biden won. Well, you got to look at it. You've got Pelosi, and you got some of the other Democrats and the Socialist Democrat. You've got some people pushing certain agendas and stuff. And do I feel that there's corruption in the government? Sometimes, yes, there is. There always is. That's why people get fired. That's why people get taken out of office. But anyhow, remember, use your mind, know which candidates you're voting for, and what they stand for. I just feel that Republicans are going to be the better choice this year coming up. So in November, vote Trump. All right, now the other thing is I'm going to bring up is that terrible incident that happened in Ohio. I know lots of people have done stuff about it, but that's a perfect example that if a person had a gun, they probably would have been able to defend their child and defend themselves. The person had a knife, and Patera from Appalachian Homestead, she comes on there and she says, "Are they going to ban knives now?" Hey, I don't think that banning anything really gets the thing done. They've already banned murder, and basically she murdered that little boy, that 3-year-old. And if you notice, it always seems to be somebody that's a little wacky that's doing these things. Not only are they wacky, or they're really angry people because of problems within their own life. They probably should have went to counseling. They probably should have sought some type of help. But people are people, and they take their anger out on other people. Some people are petty, and they take their anger out on other people. I know that for a fact. I live next to one, but that's besides the point. You got to do what makes you happy in life. As long as you're not hurting anyone else. You should be able to own whatever you want. You should be able to do whatever you want, as long as you're not hurting anyone or hurting children or killing little animals like dogs and cats for no reason whatsoever. Don't molest. I have a dim view on molesters. I have a dim view on murderers who just kill people for no reason at all, like serial killers. This woman who killed this little boy, she should be processed quickly and sentenced to death. And maybe she should be stabbed to death. Maybe we should start making the punishment fit the crime. I don't know if you understand that. I always say if a person's in prison for a really bad crime, they should be given 2 buckets. One for water and one for their piss and shit. Don't confuse the 2 buckets in the dark. Oh, no TVs. no radios. If they commit a crime that's a violent felony or sell drugs to children or anything like that, we should just lock them up. Lock them up for 20 years at least, minimum. None of this let them out on good time stuff. And we'd have a lot less problems in our society. But why should our society not do the things that they do? When we let people get away with drug use, we let people get away with hurting little children, we let people get away with hurting women, and even men get hurt. I mean, really, there's men that get hurt by other men or by women. And you've got these people out there, it's all about money. And their greed is what causes them to do a lot of things, like the drug dealers and stuff. And I realize people want to better themselves. They want to pull themselves out of poverty. And, we're talking people in the hood. We're talking about poor white people, too. And, or people from south of the border, you know. Hey, and that brings up that thing about Biden. You notice that Biden all of a sudden wants to shut the border down if it goes more than 2,500 people in a day. But can we really handle 2,500 people every day for 30 days? That just seems ludicrous to me. I think we ought to knock it down to maybe 2,500 a month. I think that's better. But, Biden's doing what Biden is. And I'm not prejudiced against Mexicans or Nicaraguans or Guatemalans or Panama's people or Puerto Ricans, Cubans, or whatever. I think if you come to our country and you do it legally, once you cross that border illegally, you're a felon as far as I'm concerned. They should just lock you up, fly you back to your country, land on the tarmac, hand him $500 and say, don't come back. If you do, we're putting you in prison for the rest of your life, or at least 20 years. I think that would curtail people doing the things they're doing. Maybe even, do other things. And I think we should put the military on the border. I think we should put them on the border, and they should keep people. They should build the wall. So the only way people can get through, unless they use a hot air balloon or a plane and jump out once they cross over, is go through the ports of entry. I mean, it's easy to solve this problem if you have a wall that's big enough and tall enough and you put guards on that wall, which is a good way, control our borders. And I think that whoever is the president needs to talk with the Mexican president now that she got elected. And they need to tell them, you guys need to stop the influx to your country down at the southern border. If you notice, the border of Mexico is much smaller down there than the border of the United States along the top of Mexico. And we ought to tell them, in return for stopping the flow into your country, we're willing to help you out. It's got to be cheaper to do that than it is. And, they're our neighbors. The Mexican country is our neighbors. Mexico is at our southern border. Canada is at our northern border. We get along good with the Canadians most of the time. There was that 1812 thing. But anyhow, and when they came and burned our capital, but that was besides the point. That was a long time ago. Not saying I'm holding anything against you Canadians, but, we remember. All right. So anyhow, remember, if you're watching this, you are the resistance. Stick up for your Second Amendment rights. Stick up for all your rights. Elect Trump. The country will be better off. We won't have an energy problem. We're going to run into a really bad energy problem if things keep going the way they're going. So, love you all. Thank you all for subscribing. And see you next time. Bye.